Hey beautiful child of God, it's Jasmine and welcome to my channel, Stay Classy by Jazzy. I wanted to share my thoughts to you in light of what's been happening in the United States regarding the recent unlawful killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis and following the killing of Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and many others. And I feel as if, as a black creator on YouTube, as a black student at a predominantly white institution, as well as just a young black female in America, I wanted to use my platform to empower and encourage you. Now, I'm speaking primarily to my black brothers and sisters, but I also want my white brothers and sisters to not be afraid to watch this video because I'm speaking out of love and truth, and sometimes the truth is going to be uncomfortable, and I believe it's important that I no longer give to fear to share my honest thoughts and reflections on what's going on. Now, it's impossible for me to share everything that I've been processing, and honestly, I haven't processed everything. It's just been overwhelming, to say the least. The Black Lives Movement has a lot more magnitude to it now than it has in the past, and it's very hopeful to see, but also we're exhausted, we're tired, we're angry, we're frustrated, and I want to say that you have a right to be angry, frustrated, tired, all of those, because your feelings are valid. And you should not feel like you have to suppress how you're feeling, because that's not going to benefit anybody, and it's definitely not going to benefit you. So there's just a couple things that I want to say on my heart. First thing is just my general response to all of this. Like I said, I've been overwhelmed, but when I first heard about the killing of George Floyd, I didn't even watch the whole video because I couldn't bear it to. I was already upset enough. I was numb. I've become desensitized to it, unfortunately, because now instead of saying, man, that's awful, I wish it would never happen again, I know deep down that it's going to happen again because it's a reoccurring issue that it's always been happening. And it's a hard conversation and the hard reality truth that myself and a lot of my black peers have to face, and it's a conversation that we have to have with our parents on a daily basis, because the truth of the matter is, when we look at George Floyd, he was someone's son, someone's brother, maybe someone's cousin, someone's uncle, and that could have been my dad, it could have been my uncle. I don't have a brother, but it could have been my brother, it could have been someone, my loved one, it could have even been me. And so the gravity of the situation is weighing really heavy on us as a black community. And my white brothers and sisters, I want you to listen. I'm speaking out of love and of truth, because that's all that we really want, is for people to listen, because we've been sharing our voices for so long and it's not getting us anywhere. We don't have enough power. We need the help of the majority to usher in change into this world. We have to come together as a unit, as a union. And part of that means that my white brothers and sisters, let me hear me out when I say this, that you have to listen without interrupting. And you have to understand that you will never fully understand the experience of being a black person in America, but that you being an ally at this time is extremely important, because your voice has more power than ours. And then when we come together, that power can really create change in this time. And there are tons of resources out there, and I'll put some resources in my bio as well. I think it's really important to be educated at this time. And also, speaking as a black woman, I think it's important for me to re-educate myself as well, because what we were taught in school about black history during Black History Month, which is a month's not enough, I just feel like I owe it to myself to always continue to be educated as well. Because education is power, knowledge is power. In addition to that, there's a couple things I want to say about this. One is, I want you to remember to take care of yourself. This is a time that is heightened in emotion, it's tense, we're stressed, it's even traumatic for many of us, and that can wreak havoc on you mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, environmentally, relationally, all of that, all of the above. So take care of yourself. I know a lot of people are showing up online, and I want you to show up for yourself offline as well, because this movement is not something that's just going to happen for a couple weeks or a month. This is going to be long lasting, because we want long lasting change. Number two, I also want to say to be kind to one another. I know it's cliche, and you're like, Jasmine, what? But you know what? I'm a Christian. I'm going to operate out of the gifts that God has told me and the truth that He's told me as well. The two greatest commandments that Jesus told us is to love God and then love our neighbor as ourselves. And Martin Luther King Jr. said the same thing when he's saying that hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Love is a crucial piece of the equation that we have been missing in this country for a very long time. And I believe that if we bring that back into the equation with everything we're doing, with taking action and speaking up, that we really can create true change. But I have just seen people speaking and being vocal, and I've also seen people being disrespectful when those are being speaking or being vocal. So I want us to be cautious of how we say things, and to know that people have a right to their thoughts, and that they have a right to express their thoughts, and to be kind when people do that, because it takes a lot of courage to do it on both parties. And number 3, I want to remind you of this. One of my friends reminded me of this through an influencer named Candace M. Reed, and she said that everyone is going to take action in a different way, and everyone's going to use their voice in a different way. There are people who are going to be outspoken right from the get-go and voice their opinions because they're not afraid and that they have a lot of confidence and courage in that. And there's people who are going to take a little bit more time to process what they're going through, to kind of think about what they're going to say before they actually say it. And I'm more of that person who has taken time to process everything, because again, it's been overwhelming, and I don't want to speak incorrectly or inappropriately. I want to make sure that I'm speaking with intention, with the right words, and from the heart, and not from anger. So I want to remind you that everyone processes things differently, and people might process publicly or privately, but however you process, to know that everyone offers something. Everyone has a role at this time. It's like baking a cake. Each ingredient has an important role to make that cake, right? And so I just think back to the civil rights movement. Like, we had leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks and Malcolm X and so many others, but we also had people who were journalists who broadcast and wrote about the stories. We had people who were musicians who made songs detailing what was happening at the time. We had photographers who were taking pictures to document what was going on. We had writers and artists who just capture what was going on through words or through paintings and pictures. And so everyone has a role to play, and I don't want you to feel like if I'm not playing the role that my friend is or my peer is, then my voice doesn't matter. Everyone's voice matters in this case, because, like it or not, we're living through history. And I honestly feel like my generation has been passed the torch from the past generation. They have fought hard and long, and now it's our turn to create real change for not only our generation, but for future generations. I want my children to be able to live in a world where they don't have to fear for their lives simply by the color of their skin. There's so much more I can say about this, but I just wanted to be an encouraging light for you during this time, and I want to empower you and inspire you by even taking the step to share my voice and my thoughts with you. I hope that this empowerment and this inspiration will rub off for you to stand strong and share your voice as well, because we all have an impact in the change that's taking place right now. And I will leave you with this. It's a verse that's been echoing my mind lately, and it is 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, of power, and of a sound mind. So I want to remind you, as you are taking time to process, as you are taking time to figure out how you want to show up and how you want to use your voice, because some of us have never really used our voice like this before. I'm still learning how to find my voice. I want to remind you to make sure that when you do raise your voice, raise awareness, and take action, that you do it out of love and not hate, that you do it out of power and not fear, and that you do it out of a sound mind, that you're doing it out of a clear conscience and a pure heart. And I pray for long-lasting change. I pray for your well-being, and I am hopeful for the future. I love you all. Take care of yourself, please, 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 and I will see you when I see you. Bye.